The money will go to drug addiction and prevention services, and this settlement sends a strong message to drug makers and drug distributors that they have played a role in America's opioid crisis.
Numerous companies that manufactured and distributed this poison did so without any regard for human life.
New York's Letitia James leading a group of state attorneys general announcing the landmark $26 billion settlement that holds drug companies accountable for the country's opioid epidemic.
The opioid manufacturers, distributors, and retailers, engaged in a series of practices that fooled the public into believing that opioids were safe.
The deal calls for three big drug distributors, McKesson, Cardinal Health, and Amerisource Bergen Drug, to pay out $21 billion. New Jersey-based manufacturer Johnson & Johnson is responsible for $5 billion and is required to stop selling opioids. Dr. Jeffrey Reynolds has been a leading voice on the crisis and an advocate for families who have lost loved ones.
No amount of money that will bring those lives back, but the hope is that these opioid settlement dollars can be used to help.
New York is set to receive $1.1 billion from the distributors and $230 million from J&J. It will go to fund much-needed social services such as prevention education targeting youth, support services for people in recovery like jobs and housing, and making sure treatment is available. Often it's difficult to find a spot in a rehab program. Prescription drugs and illegal ones like heroin have been linked to more than 500,000 overdose deaths in the U.S. in the last 2 decades, including Linda Ventura's son, Thomas.
Imagine taking everyone struggling and creating a life for them that's worth living for them.
The COVID pandemic has exacerbated the problem. Dr. Reynolds says there have been 93,000 opioid fatalities in just the past year, overdoses that are all completely preventable.
Funerals. I want to stop going to funerals. I want to stop holding the hands of families as they sob by a casket for an 18-year-old who didn't have to die.
Now, most states like New York will decide on their own disbursement plan. The three big drug distributors will have 18 years to pay out. Johnson & Johnson has 5 years. While today's announcement settles lawsuits with the 4 companies involved, there are still thousands of other lawsuits involving other drug manufacturers. I'm Shirley Chan for Pix 11 News.
All right, Shirley, thank you.